to your Superman news video for the week October 3rd to October 9th, 2014. Our top news stories in this week's Speeding Bulletin include Henry Cavill spotted once again photographed in Clark Kent garb during filming for the new movie. The Supreme Court denies an appeal in the battle over the rights to Superman. And we've got a preview of some upcoming Superman action figures. Let's check out these stories and more in this week's Speeding Bulletin. It's been a fairly quiet week as far as movie news is concerned this week, with not much happening or not much being reported on for Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. All we really do have are new photos which were posted online of Henry Cavill on location in Detroit filming scenes dressed as Clark Kent. Also speaking on the Vintage Sound 93.1 FM radio show, actor Harry Lennox, who will be returning to play the role of General Swanwick in the upcoming movie, revealed why he thinks Ben Affleck will be better than Christian Bale in the role of Batman, saying, "The last guy who did a great job, Christian Bale, is British. I think that when you've got somebody that doesn't have to act like an American and embodies that ethos, if you will, then that gives him a head start." Well, we have no TV news either this week, so we jump straight into comic book news, and it was a great week for high ratings in our comic book reviews, with Action Comics number 35, which was reviewed by Michael Bailey, getting a 5 out of 5 score, and he said this issue opened strong and never let up. Michael J. Petty reviewed Justice League number 34, giving it a 5 out of 5, saying, "I'm not sure there was anything about this issue that I didn't like." Smallville Continuity Chapter 6 was reviewed by Adam DeChannel, who said the magnitude of the story is truly being felt, and he also rated this a 5 out of 5. Injustice Year 2 Annual number 1 was reviewed by T.A. Hewitt, who gave it a collective score of 2 out of 5 for the two stories presented in this comic book. T.A. also reviewed Injustice Year 3 Chapter 1, saying the opening here is quite a lackluster way to begin, and he rated this a 3 out of 5. Superman comics available this week from October 8th include Injustice Year 3 Chapter 2 digital comic has been available since October 7th. Earth 2 number 27, which is available in a monster variant cover. Earth 2 World's End number 1, which is available in a variant cover. Injustice Gods Among Us Year 3 number 1 print edition. New 52 Future's End number 23. Smallville Season 11 Chaos number 3 print edition. Superman Wonder Woman number 12, which is available in a monster variant cover and a digital combo pack. World's Finest number 27. Smallville Continuity Chapter 7 digital comic will be available October 10th. Infinite Crisis Chapter 22 digital comic will be available October 12th. Earth 2 Volume 4 The Dark Age hardcover. Earth 2 Volume 3 Battle Cry trade paperback. Smallville Season 11 Volume 5 Olympus trade paperback. Justice League chess set. And Superman the Man of Steel statue by Shane Davis. Check out our amazing collection of DC Collectibles Superman statues representing Superman as designed by various artists. Pre-order the DC Collectibles Superman and Wonder Woman Holiday Kiss mini statue for $92.14. Or how about the DC Collectibles Superman by Gary Frank statue, available for pre-order for just $79.99. These and other great DC Collectibles Superman statues are available from your one-stop Superman shop, the Superman Homepage online store at supermanhomepage.com/shop. And in other news, the Supreme Court has denied an appeal by the Shuster estate for a review of the case over the ownership rights to Superman. In November 2013, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals affirmed a ruling that a 1992 agreement made by Jean Peavy, the sister of Joe Shuster, precludes the estate's attempt to terminate a copyright grant. As a result, a federal judge ruled the broad and all-encompassing language of the 1992 agreement unmistakably operates to supersede all prior grants. DC Comics posted a new DC All Access video previewing the upcoming DC Collectibles line of 7-inch scale designer series action figures based on Jay Lee's artwork from the Batman Superman comic book. These action figures will be released in July or August of 2015 and will include Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman and Catwoman, who will come with an alternate head with goggles positioned above her eyes. MattyCollector.com posted a video previewing their upcoming action figures, including the vintage style DC Superpowers collection and the signature series Doomsday action figure. The vintage style DC Superpowers collection is sculpted by the Four Horsemen, with build-a-figure pieces to create Calabac, while the Doomsday action figure is the final figure in the Signature Series line and is presented in a special 360-degree view packaging. These figures are scheduled to be released in November from MattyCollector.com. The Lost Treasures collection presents the musical It's a Bird, It's a Plane, It's Superman, which will be performed for 3 performances on 2 dates only, Friday, October 24th and Saturday, October 25th at 7 p.m. and one Saturday matinee, October 25th at 2 p.m. The show is presented script in hand with minimal staging, no sets, no props. Tickets are $20 for all seats. Contact the Lakewood Theatre box office or purchase tickets online at centerstageticketing.com. You might be wondering why I'm wearing this special Rabbitohs Superman Man of Steel jersey. Well, my team, the Rabbitohs, the South Sydney Rabbitohs here in Australia, won the 2014 NRL Premiership, first time in 43 years, so I'm very excited, and the team is actually owned by Russell Crowe. So anyway, that's our news for this week. I'm Steve Younis from SupermanHomepage.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Great Scott! Great Scott! Great Scott!
Greetings everyone and welcome to another bat-tastic edition of Great Scott. Actually, this is what many are speculating to be Wayne Manor behind me, but just because it's on Alfred Street in downtown Detroit doesn't mean that I'm going to talk about Batman in this episode, although now that we have the Batman v Superman heavily into production and we're all heavily anticipating it and we heavily await every bit of footage or pictures or photos or information we can possibly get, I'm not going to be heavy-handed with the Batman stuff here, although it does play an integral part in the movie, I'm sure. A lot of people are speculating, as I said, that this is going to be Wayne Manor, and my thoughts are, I think it could be a really cool way to introduce Batman back into this story while including Lois Lane and using Alfred. Now, in the beginning, when I had heard that this movie was going to take aspects of Man of Steel, characters of Man of Steel, and use them all, Perry White, Martha Kent, Lois Lane, Superman who has to be integral, and whoever the big baddie is, while adding Batman, Wonder Woman, possibly Aquaman we keep hearing about, cyborgs in the movie, and still have room for some sort of confrontation with villains like Lex Luthor, who's also in the movie, and whoever the big baddie is, unless they're not going to do a big baddie, but this is really going to be more about the introduction of these two DC powerhouses on screen for the first time together, which kind of makes sense, and maybe we'll have a more character-driven, more greater understanding of these two people together and apart than we would have if we were just about bashing a villain, although people are speculating that there's going to be a lot of bashing between Batman and Superman, and I really hope there isn't, unless it's Superman kind of going, whoa, 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 and just kind of backing away, and Batman getting winded, and then going, all right, maybe we can talk. That kind of thing, that might be all right. But what I'm thinking about this Wayne Manor, and or I've heard speculation that maybe it is a servant's quarters for Alfred, which I don't really love, because Alfred's more like a father figure and a member of the family than he is a servant, unless they had some sort of a falling out and he was forced to move back into the servant's quarters. I don't think that would serve him well in this particular film, although we don't know what the plot is. But my thinking is, and what I hope, and what I think would be great, since we've had information that both Amy Adams and Jeremy Irons were on set at this location and involved in some sort of a scene that was going on here, what I hope is that we see intrepid reporter Miss Lois Lane, as we did in Man of Steel, because I couldn't figure out how they were going to use all these major characters that were kind of periphery characters to the main part of the story, and that is we want to see Clark Kent, we want to see Superman, and now we want to see Batman and Wonder Woman and Aquaman and Cyborg and whoever else they decide to put in this movie, and we don't know if Aquaman's in it, there's just speculation. But how are we also still going to see those people? And it was neat and exciting as a Superman fan to see that they were all cast and that they were all going to be in it. Then I heard about Alfred, and I said, we got Alfred too. I mean, how are we going to have all of these characters playing important roles? Maybe Bruce and Alfred are estranged in some way, or maybe they're not. And maybe Lois Lane is in town in Gotham investigating whatever it is she and Clark are investigating, because we've seen pictures of Henry Cavill as Clark outside the Wayne County Courthouse on the street in Gotham in different spots. So maybe they're there investigating some series about some masked vigilante who maybe once used to operate there, because we found out that Batman's given up on that, Bruce Wayne's given up on that and gone away, and now, for whatever his reason is, he's going to come back in this film, a la The Dark Knight Returns type of thing, and Bruce Wayne himself, Ben Affleck, has been heard saying that he and Zack Snyder drew a lot of influence from the Frank Miller book, and we've already talked about that, but you know how I feel. I understand it's kind of a seminal, attitudinal work about Batman, but the rest of it is way off base, and the stuff with Superman's off base, and what Batman could accomplish is off base. So hopefully they just take some of his attitude and some of the feel and some of the grittiness, because that was a seminal work, as Affleck said himself, and it was influential on comic books, and in Batman specifically, because before then he was kind of campy. And the way people remembered him was from the Adam West TV show. So they wanted to get Batman back to being serious and dark, and that's what that did. But what I'm thinking is, like in Man of Steel, Lois Lane tracks down all these clues and all these hints and actually figures out where to go to find out who Bruce Wayne really is and why he was Batman. So, spoiler alert, if this is what happens, I mean, I would love it if Lois, like she figured out Clark had powers and tracked him down to the Kent farm and questioned Martha and eventually met Clark at the graveyard, if Lois finds out that Alfred is like a father figure to Bruce, who eventually became Batman because his parents were murdered. Now, that would lead to a possible confrontation between Batman himself and Lois, and I think that would be great, because we'll have more scenes with important Superman periphery characters and Lois Lane, who's really important, and it'll give her a real purpose and also continue the thread we started in Man of Steel, and that is that she gets a hold of something and doesn't let it go until she finds out what it's about. So, if this is Wayne Manor, or if this is a quarters for Alfred, she ends up there because of all the series of clues she followed. She's the only one who's figured it out thus far. And she gets there and meets Alfred and confronts him about it, much like she did Martha, and finds out information. And Martha told her where to find Clark, and she found him in the graveyard. They may not know where to find Bruce because he's been out of the spotlight for a while, but maybe Alfred and her have a talk about it. Maybe she finds out more than what normally Alfred might reveal, although in the Batman Tim Burton movie back in the day, he gave everything to Kim Basinger's character, Vicky Vale, pretty easily. And I think he was doing it because he was trying to help Bruce in his own way. He thought he was becoming too obsessed and too involved with this Batman creation. But we'll see what happens. And since Bruce Wayne is presumably gone at this point, at least in my theory, and he doesn't have to be, he could be involved. I just kind of hope that this is what this scene is. I would love it if Lois Lane tracked down the connection between Batman and Alfred and Wayne Manor and possibly Bruce Wayne. That would be great. I think that would add a lot to the story, to the character, would give her a big reason for being there, and would really continue showing the kind of person she is and not giving up and following a story to the end. Thanks everybody for watching, and remember, continue to tune in. Same super time, same super channel.